Chris here with my January wrap up. I don't know if I'm going to be doing wrap ups for every month because I just plan on reviewing a lot of things. If I don't review something on this channel, it's going to be reviewed on my blog, which I'll have linked below. But I'm going to try to do them as often as possible. We'll see how that goes. I fell behind like completely in the second half of last year on wrap-up videos, and I just stopped doing them. But this year I'm going to try. We'll see. But yeah, I read a few books this month. Actually, not many books I read. I'm going to pull up the list and just go over it as I go over it. Let's just get into it. First thing I read at the top of the month was A Work in Progress by Connor Franta. It's like a little memoir by him. If you don't know who Connor Franta is, he's a YouTuber and has his own company, which is like coffee and clothes and music and stuff. I don't know. He's really cool. And I was kind of skeptical about how I feel about the memoir because it's a memoir from someone who's like in his 20s. It's like, okay, but I feel like it was really well done. It's Connor's such a creative type, and I really loved having some of his photography in throughout this memoir, and also just some of the formatting of the book in itself, which is really creative and cool looking. Also, this book, when I'm looking at a memoir, you're kind of looking for like some type of life messages out of it, and there's several life messages you can get out of the story. I feel like one was about not waiting for your happiness and seeking, and not waiting for your happiness and just waiting through things and hoping it'll get there eventually, and like actually seeking out your happiness. I thought it was really cool. I enjoyed it. I rated the novel 4 stars. The Sun is also starred by Nicola Yoon. I actually read that for the very salon. These are not going in order, are they? No, they aren't. But I read that for the very salon. I really, really love that novel. I was also skeptical about how I feel about that because so many people have been raving about it. I felt like the hype was going to kill it for me, but it did not. I didn't like Daniel for the first part of the story, and then he grew on me, and I think that's one of the great things about the story is that while I love Natasha right away and she's such a great character, Daniel, not as much right away, but he just makes you fall in love with him. Like he gets Natasha to kind of fall for him over the course of that day. Also, I thought it was going to be way more insta-lovey than it actually turned out to be, so that was pretty good. I wasn't like, oh my god, this is such insta-love. It didn't have that feel for me. And it's a story, I didn't say what the story is about. It's about these two kids who meet on the day that one of them is getting deported. They're both children of immigrants, and I just really love this story. So yeah. When the Moon Was Earth by Anna Marie McLemore. This is a fantastic story. It's about a pair of it's about these two people who are super in love. Like even from the beginning, they're in love. It's one of the main characters is trans, it's like a fantasy story about a girl who I believe it's something about like roses grow out of her skin, and it's about these people who are trying to get these roses because they think it has some type of magical property they can use. And it was a really good story. I will say that it really dragged for me. It wasn't something that I was like super there for the entire time. I was reading the story last year and I just finished it this year. So it wasn't really my favorite thing ever, but I think I just love the language and some of the just the messages out of this novel were so beautiful. The foreword at the beginning of the novel is one of the most beautiful things ever. If I still have the photo, I'll put it up here, but if not, you should go check out my review because I have the picture of the foreword in my review. And it's just so good. But I talk a lot about that. I did like an entire blog post about this book, which I wrote a lot about my feelings on it without really spoiling anything, so you guys can check that out if you want. I just talked about how I felt about certain characters, how I felt about the villain of the book, and how I felt about the overall message and some of the fantasy elements in that, so go check that out. Juliet Takes a Breath. This is something I read the first 20 pages of it back in November, then put it down and never picked it back up again, but I finally picked it back up again, restarted it, and I really, really love this novel. Juliet leaves her hometown in the Bronx after coming out to her parents, and goes to Oregon for an internship with a feminist woman who wrote this book that Juliet loves and that she looks up to. And she goes to do this internship, and it's really a book about Juliet's journey, and it's also her dealing with trying to figure out where does she fit in this woman's ideal of feminism, or in white feminism really, because she's Latina. And I don't know. I just really enjoyed this story. I feel like there's some parts of it were really relatable, like Juliet finding her being the first time she's in a space for queer people of color, that just a queer person of color space. It was such a experience for her, and that was really kind of a similar experience to what I had myself. So yeah, I really, really enjoyed the story and gave it 5 stars, I believe. Outcome LGBT Portraits. This is a portrait book I got off of NetGalley, and it's just showing, it's a really cool concept. It's essentially showing a bunch of different LGBTQ people. I believe it's mostly in the UK, and it has a picture of them when they're children and a picture of them now. And it's kind of like this big message about like getting that when times are rough, times are going to be rough, but you'll be able to make it through it and get to some place where you're happy kind of idea. And I really like the little blurbs that we got with each of these photos. I will say that if you get the digital copy, because I had it digital on my phone, it gets cut off in weird ways, and it's a little bit difficult to follow the order of things, which was like but like it's supposed to be like a picture book that you'd have a physical copy of, so that's probably why it doesn't work as well on a digital format like on a mobile phone or in Kindle, because I've looked at it on both and it didn't really work. So but yeah, I really enjoyed it. None of the Above by Ida Gregorio. This was the Rainbow Library's first book of the month. For January, and so everyone in the Rainbow Library read it, and then we did reviews of it on the channel. There's a week of reviews that you guys can go check out. I'm going to put a link to my review on that channel. This is a book about a teenager who finds out that she's intersex, and I like the story. I didn't love the story, but I did like the story. But I'll have a link to my review down there, and you should definitely check out some of the other reviews from the other people on the Rainbow Library channel, because I feel like we all had varying opinions, I'd say. So yeah, go check those out. Lumberjanes, Volume 1. Beware the Holy Kitten? Lumberjanes is cool. That's really all I can say. I mean, I'm gonna read the next volume. I already put a hold on it at the library. I'm pretty sure it's waiting for me at my library. I just haven't gone to get it. I'm probably gonna go get it when I take some stuff back to the library that I'm reading right now. Like, that I really need to finish right now. Like Shadow Hero, and hopefully Not Your Sidekick will be finished soon. And things like that. I need to take those back to the library, and then I'll pick up the next Lumberjane copy, but I like it. I really don't know much to say about it. I somehow wrote a review on it that I'll link down below, but I had such a hard time figuring out what to actually say. I feel like there's queer element that's slowly building in this first volume, and I probably will talk about that in a future, in a review of like a future volume of it. But for the first volume, like, this is good, this is cool, I like the setup, and I like the characters, but that's pretty much it. Dreadnought by April Daniels. I thought this was fantastic. I read this is a book about a girl named Danny Tosser. She's a trans girl who has not gone through any transitioning things at all. Her family would not be very accepting of her transitioning. But one day, she's just moseying along, and then gets in the middle of a supervillain fight, and accidentally winds up with some powers that transform her body to look like the way she's always wanted her body to look. Which is just like such a cool concept, and I really was like, yes. It's an Owen Voices book, and I was just like, yes, I want this. And I love the characters, and I really love the main character's hero journey. I have a full review of it on my blog, so I'll just link it like I would link all the reviewy things. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I'm so glad I got a chance to read it, and you should definitely go and check this out because it's so good. That is 8 things that I read in January, although about a couple of them are things I started before January, but whatever. I feel like that's a pretty good start to the year considering everything else that has been happening in my life and in the world right now. Because the world is kind of a mess right now, and my life is also pretty, I wouldn't say it's equally messy, but like, it's there, y'all. No, it's not messy. I organized the shelf, sorta. It's still a mess, but like, it's not as much of a mess. And those candles are from like the props of my boyfriend's play that just went on, and now they're on my shelf because they're cute. Anyway, tell me what you read in January, what you liked. If you read any of the things that I just read, tell me what you thought of them in the comments down below. And I hope you all are having a good morning, evening, or night, or whatever time it is as you're watching this. And I will see you all next time. Bye.